Today's episode of the Wildcats Roundup is made possible by West Media Group. West Media Group is a Latrobe-based agency that is pioneering modern marketing. From website development and maintenance to online campaigns, West Media Group has the tools to bring your company's advertising into the 21st century. Learn more about West Media Group services at www.westmediagroup.com. Again, that's westmediagroup.com. West Media Group, future-ready marketing.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Wildcats Roundup here on the Wildcats Network YouTube channel. I'm Richard Hilwig alongside with Tristan Borland, and we once again come to you from Rossi Field, the home of Greater Latrobe Athletics. And Tristan, I need to get this out of the way here real quick. It's hot.
Oh, it is unbelievable. This has probably been one of the hottest weeks for us here on the Wildcats Network, and even though the Wildcats welcome it, the Gridiron Wildcats seem to enjoy it. I don't know about you, Richard. I'm not a big fan of it. Folks, this is my second shirt for this video, and it is just so unbelievably hot out here on Rossi Field. But I mean, Richard, from what I'm seeing in practice, Cats don't seem to mind it as much.
No, they don't. And they certainly don't mind it when it comes to practicing their offense. And that is our main focus for this episode this summer. We touched on overall a little bit of last season and preparations, kind of overall what they're doing in the last episode. But for offense, right now, they should be expecting a lot of high-end contributors, and particularly their big names, to lead their way.
I thought that last season Brady was going to throw that ball, and he proved me wrong.
Yeah.
The Wildcats, in my humble opinion, are one of the best running offenses in the WPIAL. And from what I'm seeing in practice, I think they're going to be that again this year in the 5A.
For the Wildcats offensively, they will have to replace their record-setting season led by Jaton Williams, both in the kick return game and in the receiving game. But behind the identity that head coach Ron Brady has instilled here at Greater Latrobe, it should lead through the offensive line and then carry over through the backfield, which includes John Wetzel at quarterback.
John Wetzel, I mean, a dual threat weapon on so many levels. Not only do I think that John over the summer has improved as a passer, from what I saw last year, he's a scary guy with the ball in his hands running down the field. I would argue he's one of the faster guys on the team.
And they got their big name commitments out of the way over the summer here. Alex Tash in the winter, John Wetzel in the summer here so far. So the focus should be right here on this field.
Exactly. I mean, those guys kind of got their future out of the way. Now they can really lock in and make sure that they are ready to go when the season starts. And again, from what I'm seeing right now on this practice field here in July, I think that they're ready for that. They just seem to be on a different level in terms of the offense.
For a more in-depth dive on the Greater Latrobe Wildcat offense for the upcoming season, here's head coach Ron Brady.
Folks, thank you for joining us here in the locker rooms at the Arnold Palmer Fieldhouse here at Rossi Field. Myself, Tristan Borland, alongside me, the star of the show, head coach Ron Brady. So, Coach, first of all, thank you so much for your time. A little hot out there, you know, as we move into the July months, that heat is really starting to turn up, especially out there on that turf field. What are you guys seeing out of your players right now as that temperature seems to go up?
Well, we kind of like the heat this time of year. Yeah, it's good to get adjusted as early as you can. We open up at Connellsville, it's going to be 85 degrees at kickoff, so it always is. So, you know, we're not afraid of the heat. It's a little warmer a little earlier, get our kids acclimated to it a little bit earlier. So just kind of go with the flow, and you know, we can't change it, so there's no use in complaining about it or worrying about it. So that's kind of our motto, just take care of business.
So, Coach, this episode we're going to be talking all about your offense. I mean, I'm man enough to admit, last year I thought with all the weapons that you guys were going to have around John Wetzel, all those receiving weapons that you guys were going to be throwing that ball, I was wrong. I was proven by you and your coaching staff that nobody runs the ball better than the Wildcats. Tell me, what are you seeing out of your offensive players right now that show that this year is going to be the exact same things? You guys are going to run the ball just as effective and just as successful as you did last year.
Well, we certainly hope that's the case. We feel like, you know, we got a couple guys back on the offensive line. That helps with Cody and Caleb Lehman, and we're going to see, I think, good things out of both Scartons, Marco and Anthony, and Lucas Collins is in the mix, and Alessandro is in the mix, and Wade Enoch, you know, Dylan Miller. We got guys that we feel like we can play up front that hopefully will be effective and, you know, open up some running lanes for our guys. You know, John's a weapon running in, throwing the ball. Brady showed what he could do last year. Chris Cochran's good with the ball in his hands. Alex, you know, also. You know, and then you got some guys on the outside like Andy Tash and Sawyer Butina and Eli Meter and a bunch of other guys that are going to step up and play well. Izzy McMahon's in that mix too. So we got guys that are battling for spots. You know, it's going to be interesting to see who rises to the top.
So you just touched on my next question a little bit there. In our last episode, Richard and I kind of touched a little bit about the backfield that you're about to have. You have Brady Brahovic, Alex Tash, Chris Cochran, and John Wetzel, the dual threat quarterback back there as well. does it make you giddy? Do you get butterflies thinking about the kind of weapons that you're going to be able to use and really use to run that rock well next year?
I don't know about giddy. I don't know that I ever get giddy.
Excited,
but,
maybe?
Yeah, we're excited about those guys. I mean, they've worked hard. They're all kind of unique in their styles of at the running back position and with the ball in their hands. So, yeah, kind of get a little bit something different out of each of them, and that's exciting too. So, you know, we're going to have some packages for Alex. We're going to have some for Chris and John. We have designed runs for John, and sometimes he's best when passing plays break down and he keeps it alive with his feet. So, you know, he's really good at that. And Brady too is a great downhill runner. So we feel excited about those guys and what we can do, but we got to be able to throw the ball a little bit too.
You can have all the talent in the world in the backfield, but you and I both know that offensive line can really decide whether or not you can run that ball well. Would you agree with the statement and the assessment that Richard and I have made as we've been watching these practices? You got some big, scary dogs that are going to be holding down their assignments in the trenches.
I think that's true. We are going to be bigger. You know, a couple of them are inexperienced though, so that's a bit of a concern. But a lot of these guys, when they make that step from their junior year to senior year, they grow up in a hurry and they realize this is it for them, and they've got to step up. So we expect that out of a few of our guys. But you know, like I said, we have a couple returning guys that we'll lean on, and you know, hopefully we can be effective running the ball.
Now, you and I both know that when you run the ball effectively, that it really opens up the deeper part of the field. I've noticed the Wildcats love to use the play action, really a tip of the hat to that pro-style offense that you like to run. But, I mean, a lot of the weapons that you had last year, Ben Stratton, Nick Stump, Jaton Williams, those guys all graduated. They're all gone. Mm-hmm. Is there anybody in practice that you're watching right now and you're pointing at and you're going, I think he's going to be the next Jaton?
Well, I don't know that anybody has to be Jaton. You know, we just want them to be effective.
Maybe the next number one guy?
Yeah, maybe we just want them. And I don't even know if we'll have a number one guy. I mean, I think we got a bunch of ones. You know, I think we're going to spread the ball out. First off, you start inside, you know, at the tight end and H position. Timmy Myers can be a weapon in the passing game, and Jack Drenovich and Owen Burkett. Those guys are all, you know, very capable pass catchers. And then on the outside, I forgot to mention earlier, Vince Gasky is a kid that's come a long way. Danny Noonan, Sawyer, Andy, Izzy McMahon, Eli Meter, a bunch of guys that we feel like can be effective catching the ball. So I think it'd be great if we can spread the ball around a little bit, and then they can't focus on one guy. A lot of teams did a great job trying to take Jaton away last year, rightfully so. But when you got a bunch of guys out there that are similar and do similar things, sometimes that takes some pressure off of each of them.
So the last question I have for you, you know, we touched on the offense, but your special teams as well. Mm-hmm. When Jaton walked out of that door, he took with him 582 return yards and 3 return touchdowns over his senior year. Those are gone now.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, Ben Beege, also gone. He was kicking at 88% efficiency. Or is there anybody who you think is going to be able to step up in the return game and be that next return guy? And then in terms of replacing Ben Beege, is there anybody in practice standing out to you that's probably going to replace him as the main kicker for the team?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're looking at Roman Agostoni as you know, on the place kicking duties this year. He got some reps last year. Mm-hmm. He's another soccer kid that's got a really, really strong leg, and he's gotten better in his accuracy. He's going to be good. The return game, I mean, that's a huge loss to lose Jaton. I mean, he was such a weapon. Set up a touchdown at Aliquippa on a punt return. You know, return one against McKeesport. Mm-hmm. Just some huge plays in the return game. Jaton was exceptional at it. But again, we have some guys we think that are pretty explosive back there. Chris Cochran is good at it, and you know, Vince Gasky has done well there. So we're still looking, and that'll kind of sort itself out, but we feel like we have a few capable guys.
Perfect. Coach Ron Prey, as always, thank you so much for your time. But that's not it for us, folks, because Richard Hillwig is sitting down with the, are we going to say the bell cow of the Wildcats offense this year, and that's Brady Brahovic. We're going to send it to him and Richard right now.
Thanks, Tristan. Brady, first off, guys, Brady is one of the few athletes here at Greater Latrobe that is actually shorter than me, but not to worry. He's got the tenacity of 1,000 dogs. I will say that right here, right now. Yes, there are people laughing in the background, don't worry. First off, Brady, I know we're a month into practices right now, and obviously you don't put on the pads for another couple of months, or another couple of weeks, but how would you think the practices have gone so far with, you know, kind of working back into the form to now at this middle point of the season where things should kind of be going into form?
Yeah, it's been great because we can wear our helmets and stuff. and everyone's competing, getting after it, and we're getting our chemistry back and stuff from not playing for a little while, but that's why it's great to go all summer.
Now, obviously a big part of the offense last year came through Jaton Williams and his connection with John. Throughout the summer, what are you guys doing to not necessarily replace Jaton, but maybe replicate his production from what you have this year?
Well, yeah, we certainly have guys who are going to step up and can really catch the ball and are going to be awesome receivers. Also, the whole backfield's coming back again, so we can utilize that part of the game.
And you mentioned the backfield this year. You guys got a good taste of it last year with you, Alex, Chris, and John, even in that formula as well. But you also had guys like Izzy McMahon into the mix as well this year. Ideally, what is it going to take to not only just run the ball well, but potentially go through different ways of producing out of the backfield?
Well, I mean, keeping everyone with fresh legs during the games is going to be key. And it's awesome that we have all guys who can contribute, and when we have to make that sub, it's not going to be a downfall, if even a downfall at all. I mean, it's going to be great having everyone to run and stuff. It's awesome.
And I know that you guys graduate a good bit of the offensive line from last year, but there are some returners this year. As Coach Brady just mentioned, they're learning and they're getting bigger this year. Ideally, how important is it that that backfield and that offense kind of coincide and work well with that offensive line?
It's definitely imperative that everyone in the backfield gets along well with the O-line, and we do. Everyone's connection here is great. The O-line will be awesome this year. All those guys work hard. They certainly don't go unnoticed by us guys in the backfield.
And I know through the past 2 years under Coach Brady, the identity of this team has been involved in the running game primarily. With that being said, how much pressure is on the passing, or not on the passing game, but how much is more focused on the running game to produce more so, especially given the fact that #1 receiver from last year in Jaton has graduated?
Well, yeah, running the ball is our main thing, but it honestly helps with the passing game more than people think, because maybe the defense is expecting a run play and John pulls it and hits one of our guys downfield for completion. But yeah, that's why having like a dynamic offense like we do is so important, and but we keep it simple as well, and all the guys, it's really easy to pick up on, involves everyone, and it gets all of our playmakers the ball in their hand. So
I know that this is a big season upcoming. You have a lot of senior players on this team. You have a lot of high-end players on this team. What has to be the mentality to not just get to where you guys were the past 2 years, but ultimately to go further than that this year?
Well, yeah, we're over just getting to the second round and having a close game. I mean, we're looking for playing at Heinz Field or wherever the state championship, wherever they hold that at. That's what all of our goals in mind, and that's been the goal since we've met each other. Even the old elementary school days, that's what we talked about, going the extra mile and really having that for the rest of life to look forward to.
Well, hopefully you take those steps in the final weeks of the summer to accomplish that. Brady, thank you as always.
So, thank you, Rich.
Before we end this episode of the Wildcats Roundup, let's send it back to Tristan Boyle.
Thanks, Richard. Folks, first of all, thank you so much for watching today's episode of the Wildcats Roundup. We put a lot of work into these videos because that's what these student athletes deserve, and your viewership allows us to continue to do them. So make sure you share this video with everyone that you know so we can make sure that we can continue to bring these students the coverage that they deserve. I also want to take this time to talk to you guys about something new and exciting coming to the Wildcats Network website. We have made the changes necessary to have a subscription list. So for those who ever struggle with keeping up with our events and don't exactly know what we're broadcasting and when we're broadcasting it, fear no more. If you go to our website now, go down to the join subscription, fill out your information, including in your email, you will now receive a document directly to your email, and it will have a graphic with all of the upcoming events for that week. No matter whether it happens to be football, soccer, if we're broadcasting it, it will be on that list for that week. We send these out every single week, so you're always up to date on what our upcoming events will be and how you can watch these events. Again, folks, thank you so much for watching today's episode, and we will see all of you on our next episode of the Wildcats Roundup in August.